I'm from the U.S. We're continuing to our conversations with expats. Tonight I have Mark Hong here, and he's from the U.S. too. Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me. Let's see, where do I start? I am from the U.S. I was born in South Korea. I was yay high, maybe this high, something like that. I went to the U.S. and with my parents, and yeah, I lived there for, gosh, I left in 2019, so 30 some odd years.
And did you come straight to Kiev or?
No, I've been traveling since towards the end of 2019, right before the pandemic started. I was in Europe when they started talking about this weird virus in China that was starting out. And of course, I thought, okay, it's SARS outbreak again, 2005, 2006. I actually had a job offer in China to start in February of 2020. We all know what happened with that. Yeah, so I've been traveling since then, off and on for, gosh, almost 3 years. I only went back to the U.S. to get immunized, and I came back out. So I've been in most of Europe, Italy, Czech Republic, Paris, and then I was in Korea for a little while, and then Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan. Did a little Kazakhstan. I was there. They don't like Americans in Kazakhstan. It was kind of interesting. I had to get a special visa to go to Kazakhstan.
Oh, that's like Russia.
They don't look Russian. They look more like me. It's very close to China. So I fit very well, I thought, in Kazakhstan. Everyone thought I was a local. So
as long as you didn't talk. Huh?
Until I opened my mouth and I went, something's not right with this guy. Yeah, everyone spoke Russian in Kazakhstan. Well, actually, in all of Central Asia, they speak whatever language they had, Kazakh, Kyrgyz, or Uzbek. But then they all spoke Russian, even among each other.
So how long have you been in Ukraine?
I've been here since I came here on Halloween, October 31st. So it's been just over 3 months.
And what did you do for a living in the U.S.?
I am a dentist. I went to school for a very long time to be a dentist, and just got tired of just chasing after, what do the kids say, chasing after paper. I didn't have a social life. It was just work, 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 work. I have Sunday off, go play golf real quick, come home, watch football, go to sleep, and then work, 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 work again.
That's the American dream. Work, 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 die.
Die, yeah. Retire and die, and leave some money for your kids. I didn't want to do that anymore. I was a single guy, and I wanted something a little bit more out of life. I wanted to enjoy life. I wanted to go somewhere where I was free to do stuff. Of course, now I ran out of money, so I have to work now.
Happens to all of us eventually.
No, I figured I would be on the road for maybe a year, maybe 6 months. So I didn't figure on this stupid pandemic to happen.
So what are you doing in Ukraine?
I am working with an investment company. So we're getting investments from the U.S. and in UK. We're going to invest it in Ukraine. My job as a dentist is we're going to be acquiring dental offices in Kiev to start. We're going to streamline it, modernize it, make it better, deliver better care, dental care here in Kiev, hopefully not for an outrageous amount.
Okay, because it's pretty reasonable here.
Yes, but we want reasonable, good treatment. I did meet some dentists here that are specifically geared towards treating Westerners or foreigners. And I looked at some of their fees, and they were not reasonable, Dave.
I don't know. I've had a couple of implants over here, and they were not that bad.
So you went to the right place. So that's sort of what we want to deliver, but we want to deliver in the quality that you would get in the U.S. and in UK. With the fees being what they are here, I don't want to talk badly about Ukrainians, but I think it can be improved. The ratio of dentists per capita here is just lower than it is in the U.S. and the UK. We need to improve that number. And we need to make it more accessible. We need to make good healthcare more accessible, evidence-based medicine more accessible to everyday Ukrainians, not just people that have a lot of money or have access to those places. My dream really is not only get those numbers up, but my ultimate dream one day, and I'm hoping I can achieve it, is to put a couple of English-taught universities that teach really state-of-the-art, world-class medicine and dentistry.
Okay. Now you're working with Mike Green, right?
Mike Wilson, yes.
Mike Wilson, I'm sorry. Mike was, we interviewed him 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that, yes.
So, excellent. How's that going right now? I mean, with all the events going on in Ukraine, is that impacting the?
It's going, but it's going slower than we really wanted. It is a roadblock, but people understand, even in times of crises, there is opportunity for investments.
Right.
But yes, it is hindering. When we talk to possible investors, one of the first questions they ask is, "How is it? Is it stable over there? What's going on?" So, I wish this stuff would end soon.
I think we all wish it would end.
Yeah,
And it seems like the media is just stirring it up all the time.
they have an ulterior motive. So, I don't know what they're getting at. I've heard people from the Western media and people that are already they're living in Kiev say things like they're trying to take away the attention from the bad things that are going on in the U.S., like the bad economy, inflation, COVID, and things like that. But my feeling is, if they keep provoking it, it will have an effect. It's kind of like,
They may push it.
yeah, it's kind of like, oh, Putin's, when you're a kid, you tell, kid A, hey, this other kid says he can beat you up. And then the other kid's, what are you talking about? And then next thing you know, they're fighting, even though they weren't going to fight, but you provoked it.
Yeah.
So in a way, U.S. and the West is looking at Ukrainians saying, hey, Russia said they can kick your butt. And then Russians are like, well, we have no plans on invading Ukraine. But the only people in the media and everywhere that are saying attack is imminent, attack is imminent, attack is imminent is the U.S. intelligence. Nobody else is saying that. So me being an American, I get a little worried and embarrassed, and it's a shameful. I've been to different parts of the world where I am an American, but in different parts of the world, I don't look American. So I can kind of get camouflaged in there and kind of act like I'm not an American. And in Southeast Asia, particularly, there is that image of the ugly American that you personally may never have seen, but I'm almost like I could kind of camouflage in there and I could see that. And in this circumstance, I hate to say this, but that whole ugly American thing rears its head again, and it's a shame.
Are you planning on staying if the Russians invade? I mean, again, because they've already invaded.
That's a question my father asks me every morning. He calls and says, are you going to leave? My bags are not packed. I have no plane tickets bought. I don't have a plan to go anywhere. This is home for me. When I first came, I was initially planning on staying maybe a month, party it up, and meet some women, like a lot of Westerners that come here. But I really fell in love with this city. It reminded me of when I first moved to New York City in the early 90s to go to school there. Parts of this town look just like the early 90s New York City.
I hadn't thought of that.
The energy, some parts of the if you were to walk out on Obalon, it reminds me of 1993 Jackson Heights, Queens.
Never been there.
Oh, well, that's what it looks like. So, and I see the energy. I see the energy of the people. I see how you Ukrainians they all want something better. Every day they're trying to do something better. There are a lot of small businesses here more than any other post-Soviet countries I've seen.
I don't know what he wants. He wants me to do this. I don't know why. Okay.
Голосніше.
And that helped a lot. Okay.
You know, I go to certain countries when they don't realize you don't speak the language.
Uh-huh.
They say it louder.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it the first time.
A lot of times they yell at me louder. You know, and like they're angry. And I still don't understand.
You just say thank you and move on, I guess. I
That's
don't know.
pretty much what I do. You betcha. Thank you.
Thank you. Spasiba.
Bye-bye. Yeah. So now if what you were talking about that you don't look like them, this is great if the Russians actually do come in here because you can say, no, shoot, I'm Chinese. You know?
Xi Jinping, he's my uncle. You know, I hope to God that doesn't happen.
Yeah, me too.
I hope cooler heads prevail and whatever agendas that these people have get resolved. When people die in wars, I mean, it's just, there is no, what do you gain from people dying? Soldiers dying, young 20-year-old kids dying.
Nothing.
So there's no point.
Nothing. So I keep saying we need to pray for peace but prepare for war. It's better to be prepared.
Well, but I'm not going anywhere. I guess I can throw my dishes at the Russians if they come out my window, I guess. I don't know. So
On a high enough floor that it'll hurt?
Probably just piss them off because I'm on the second
Oh,
floor.
yeah, that's not worthwhile.
No.
You need to move high.
You know, I was living on the
pots.
22nd floor. That might have done some damage. But then that would be kind of a hard aim.
You just drop pots, you know?
Or hot water.
Yeah.
Boil some water.
No,
and-
by the time I got down from 22nd floor, it's
that's
a warm
true.
shower. You know? But I thank you very much.
Oh, it's raining.
Oh, okay. I'm not loud enough.
Maybe because I'm too loud.
Got it.
That's what that means.
I don't know what it meant. I've never seen anybody do that to me before. I thought maybe I was supposed to open my mouth wider or something.
Or football, just had the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
throw it to me. I didn't watch it.
No?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
What? Come on, like 4 in the morning?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to watch
I stayed up like this.
it. Yeah. I only watch it for the commercials.
There were some good commercials.
Were there? I have to
Yeah.
look up Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah,
and
there
look-
were. Britney Spears made a comeback.
Really? Again?
Wow. She still looks good.
Well,
So
she
I got to
always
give
looked
that to her.
Yeah, she's always looked good.
She did. She
Yeah.
did. There was a time when I was in LA, I thought if I just met her, I could make her be my girlfriend.
You have like a magic lantern or something?
Illegal drugs. I don't know.
There you go.
I'm a dentist. Sprinkle some on there.
No.
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 No, I didn't say that.
No. Cut that, please.
Edit.
I
Oh,
don't
gosh.
think we're going to do that here.
No. I don't even know where to get them. So those days are over.
So are you enjoying the nightlife here?
Little too much. So I've kind of cut back a lot. But the first month that I was here, I really thought that since I was going to be here only a month, that I would really get everything out that I could. It's an interesting place. Before I came here, everyone said that Ukraine has the best looking women in the
That's
world.
true.
And I could, Boy Scout, whatever, that is definitely true. You see one woman, you think, wow, she's the most beautiful woman in the world.
And then
Another one walks by. You're like, wait a minute. Yeah.
When I first got here, I almost got whiplash standing on the Shattuck one afternoon. It was in August, and I was like, there goes a 10. There's a 12.
It's an interesting place. It's a very interesting place. And a lot of them are very open to meeting you. But I got scammed a couple of times, which was interesting. But
Welcome to Ukraine.
I think you're supposed. It's like rite of passage.
Yeah,
I think
you
you're
have
supposed
to,
to do
yeah.
that. Besides, I think of myself as contributing to the economy here.
That's it. Yeah. We're just helping out.
It's like, you're paying rent and you get scammed. Okay, well, that's part of the deal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but it doesn't happen to everybody. And it's not most of the people. There's a small. Don't get the idea that Ukraine, you're going to come here and get scammed out of everything, because it's just a small percentage of the people. Most of the people are great.
Most of the people are awesome. Even the scammers were awesome. And believe it or not, they made you feel good while they were scamming you. So it wasn't all bad.
Yeah, I dropped some bills the other day, some like 20s and stuff, and somebody behind me was like, Machina, and come running after me with my money. I'm like, whoa, okay, I didn't even know I dropped it.
Wow. They returned it to you?
Uh-huh. I lost a credit
How about
card, and
that?
I'd already canceled it, but somebody called me and found my credit card.
Wow.
And they tracked me down through Facebook, through friends.
Wow.
How they did it, I don't know, but they did. And they brought it to me, and I bent it and threw it in the trash because it had already been canceled.
Right.
And somebody else called me and said, I found your credit card. I'm like, really? Again?
Wow.
So people are great here, I think.
You know,
And I
people.
don't care where you go. There's bad people and
Of
there's good
course.
people everywhere.
You know, when I first went to New York City, by the way, I lived in just about everywhere in America. I've heard that statement, it's not safe here, it's dangerous and all of that. And I would always look at them and say, it's like, let me tell you how many times my car got ripped into when I lived in Miami. When I dropped my wallet, quote unquote, dropped my wallet in my school in New York, someone returned it to me because my student ID was in the wallet. Of course, all the money, all the credit cards, everything was missing, except for a few pictures. This is before cell phones. So a few pictures that were in there, and my student ID was in there, and they physically returned the wallet to me.
I dropped mine. I got back everything but the money. And there wasn't much in it. It was like a couple of hundred hryvnias, so, no big deal.
It's people taking some of the money you would understand, but I don't. To me, Kiev is safer than most of the big cities in the U.S. I wouldn't dare walk around downtown Detroit at night at 2 a.m. I just wouldn't. In downtown Chicago, forget it. You're not walking at night by yourself.
I've been here for 3.5 years, and I do that all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't even think about it.
Well, I see young women walking by themselves
Yes.
out of the metro at night, and that's when it's perfectly safe when a local person does it. So
I've had one time in 3.5 years, I got pickpocketed. And I caught the little girl, but her coat was really slick, and she got away from me. And she ran fast,
That's awesome.
But that's it, one time in 3.5 years. So I feel very safe here.
Well, when I was in Thailand, I got pickpocketed 5 times the first day I was there.
Wow, good job.
Yeah, because, they tell you put money in different pockets. Well, in the first hour, this one was gone. Second hour, this one was gone.
So apparently they taught them the same thing. Huh?
It's like they know.
It's good.
So
And they spread the wealth around, too.
I
That's
did.
a good
Probably
idea.
one group of people, who knows. But overall, anywhere you go as a tourist, I mean, you're
Anywhere.
anywhere in the world you go, you just have to be careful and you understand that this could happen. So, me being scammed, I mean, just because I was an idiot, I probably I shouldn't have been where I was, but I was. So
Yeah.
I don't regret anything about it. It is what it is. Happens to everybody.
There's a learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So, at the end of the day, I don't really fault Ukrainians or Ukraine. It's in any major city, whether you're local or you're not local, whether you're a tourist or not a tourist. So, it's fine. I like it here. Like I said, I got a job now. I have an objective. I haven't had a 5-year, 10-year goal since I left school. I mean, when you're in school, you always think about graduation and job and whatnot.
Sure.
But you get to that point where I owned a few practices in America, and it's like you want to grow them, but that's not like your 5-year, 10-year goal. It's like, I want to make enough money to, I don't know, buy something. And you do, and just like, well, what else am I going to do? And then you start losing focus in life. But now I'm here. I have that 1 year, 2 year, 5 year plan, and a 10 year plan again. And for me personally, it is very, very exciting.
So are you just going for the business part now and like sales or something, or are you going to actually do some dentistry or?
Yeah, that's the plan. Our goal was to have had our first 2 or 3 practices up and running by March 1st. But because of this other riffraff stuff going on, that line's been pushed back a little bit. But my idea, I mean, I miss it. I am a dentist, and it's been a couple years since I've actually done some dentistry.
So if you want to look at some ugly teeth, I mean, I'm available later. Okay.
All right, let's do it. So it's not just the money part. I mean, that's neither here nor there. I mean, everybody needs money to live, but that's not my motivation or driving factor at this point. So I definitely do want to provide good, solid services here, and my ultimate goal and my ultimate goal in my heart is to actually teach. I'd like to think that I've gathered a lot of knowledge, experience over the years, and I want to give it away. I want to mold others.
So did you stick with general dentistry, or did you specialize in
Yeah, I did oral surgery.
endodontics?
Yes, I specialize in doing dental implants. So I did a lot. I was talking to somebody, one of the dentists from the UK the other day. He says he thinks he does a lot. He did.
There's dentists in the UK?
Hard to believe. You don't see the evidence, but
Sorry, guys from the UK. Not really.
I can't. I could say it, but anyway, he said he does about 50 a year, and he thought he did a lot. And I didn't want to say it, but if I did 50 in a week, I'm actually very upset. I'm yelling at my staff because that's
That's a
not
lot.
enough.
It's not a lot.
No, well, depends on the office. My office, we did an average about 400 a month,
Wow.
and but at the end of the month, I am worn out. I would be worn out if I did 300 to 400 implants. That's like 10 a day.
So you
10
didn't learn to
15 a day.
balance.
No, I enjoyed making money, also spending money, but then I realized there was just no. It gets to be boring after a while, I
The
know
making or the spending?
both.
Both?
I someone would slap me in the face if they heard me right now, but you buy that brand new car, you go out and it's like, oh, I've always wanted a 911, right? Porsche 911. I bought one, got in it. I was like really happy the first couple of days, and then the first payment that I was making on lease payment, I'm writing out the check going. It's a stupid car at the
Yeah.
end of the day, and what am I spending? And then
You're spending a house payment
yes, and then some.
and then some.
And then you're looking at it thinking, does it tell me I love you when I get into the car every day?
No, but it did do you the favor of losing 20 to 30% of its value the minute you drove off the lot.
Actually, they're coming back.
Yes, they are now.
But some of the 911s are actually becoming investments, but not when I bought it.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't tell you I love you. If I don't drive it for a week, it doesn't, call me and say, hey, where have you been? So there's none of that.
Doesn't take you out for a beer.
No.
No good in bed.
I just
Okay,
kidding.
never mind.
In Los Angeles, it's a funny story. People that have been in Los Angeles, lived in Los Angeles, would know this. When you walk into a bar, I don't have any keys on me, so I can't do it. But when you walk into a bar, the bar thing, you're supposed to pull out your keys and set it on top. So women would actually notice what kind of car you drove. And where the Porsches made their keys, if you had a Cayenne, the key shape, she's shaped like a Cayenne. And it's very distinctive. And the 911 keys were literally shaped like 911s.
Wow.
And then there would be Ferraris and Lamborghinis there. So you would set that on top of the bar. And I'm sorry to anyone watching in LA, but you guys know how it is. Women would walk by the bar and look, see what kind of car keys you had on top, and they would actually talk to you and say, 911s are my favorite.
So that Toyota Avensis I got,
Toyota key sitting on top of the bar would not be although, I mean, if it's a Lexus LFA, that might be the only thing.
no. 20-year-old.
But can you imagine how superficial of a world that is, though?
Oh yeah.
And I lived there for a while, and almost 10 years, and it's fun at first, and then after a while, you just kind of go, this place has no soul. It just sucks everything out of you, and you just want to leave.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be with a woman that chose me because of my car.
Wow.
I mean, not longer than a night.
No. Well, weekend.
Weekend.
That's about
Long
it.
weekend.
Yeah, no, you don't want to marry them because first thing they'll do is take their car.
And then they're going to look for the guy with the
The Ferrari.
better car.
Yeah. Not the 911, maybe the what do you call it, the RS version or the GT4
Or
version.
maybe the Bentley. Bentleys are nice.
Bentleys weren't that popular in LA. Well, I take that back. What's wrong with me. Well, I didn't see anybody with a Bentley where I was, so.
You were in the poor neighborhood.
I was.
Only had the Porsches. And
No,
stuff.
it's the $150,000 cutoff line.
Yeah.
You had to go over a couple of blocks.
Well, see, I lived on Hilton Head Island for a while, and there you'd see the Rolls Royces and the Bentleys. It was not that uncommon to see a couple of Rollses and a couple of Bentleys in a day on a little island. I didn't have any of them.
It's a beautiful place. I love the golf courses over there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I loved it over there. I lived a whole 15-minute walk from the beach.
Oh.
And it was terrible because I had to walk across a golf course. Oh, my God.
Golfers, we get the bad rap. They say that golf courses take up real estate in like the most beautiful parts of the world. And I don't know. I love it. You go to Hilton Head or Myrtle Beach. I mean, the nicest parts of the beach. You look over, there's a golf course and someone yelling "4." So
yeah, that's nice. I used to bicycle on them and stuff.
Oh gosh, no.
In the evening, you could do it after 7 p.m. They opened up the paths and you could go.
I'm still playing at 7.
Well, it's not my fault you're slow.
You
have to play faster at Hilton Head because of the Gators.
That's true. Yeah, but then they don't really eat you. They eat the golf balls.
There was a 14-footer walking across the golf course I lived on one day. Yeah, that's a big one. It's like, 4 meters?
Is it? Big enough to eat you.
Bigger than 4 meters.
Yeah, big enough to eat you if they decide it. Yeah. I lived in Miami for a long time.
It's called motivation.
You know what? There's that joke. It's like you just have to be faster than the slowest person in your group.
Right. That's right.
You're okay.
Make sure your tennis shoes are tied.
Although I lived in Miami, and Miami is the only place in the world where they have alligators and crocodiles. I ran over one with my car once.
Really?
So we were on 84, which goes from the western end of Florida to Miami.
Uh-huh.
And in the 90s and early 2000s, now it's just lit up like a Christmas tree. So even in the middle of the night, it's completely brightly lit. But back then, there were no lights on the road, and it was 2-lane highway. So you would be driving, it's pitch dark, and sometimes at night, you would be the only one on the road. So you look out and you think, oh, something's on the road, and you don't really know. Next thing you get to about 5 feet from it, it's too late to avoid it. So you just kind of close your eyes and
speed bump,
run over it. It destroyed my car. So I had pulled over because my car's low. It destroyed the transmission underneath, just ripped it apart. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, that poor alligator must be dead. I look back, I couldn't find it.
So you didn't get boots or
no,
or
it was gone. It was gone.
That's too bad.
There was no blood trail. There's nothing. So alligator won.
Yeah. When I was leaving, I worked in Miami on Hurricane Ida, I think it was, And as I was leaving, there was a lot of these iguanas down there.
Oh yeah.
As I'm leaving, I saw the biggest one I'd seen yet, like 4 foot long, running down the highway alongside of me. I'm like, that's different. You don't see that every day.
You know, those are supposedly pests, invasive.
They are.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be there.
So they eat all the flowers and all the nice things that people put out.
I heard some funny stuff about that. It when it's cold, they're cold blooded and they freeze up basically in the trees.
Yes.
And then they fall out of the trees.
But they're not dead.
No, they're not dead. But a guy down there that I was talking to, he didn't know that, and he picked up like a 3 foot one, thinking he's got he's gonna take it home, and he puts it in the back seat of his car and he drives off with the heater on.
Of course.
Well, pretty soon the thing woke up, and it destroyed the inside of his car.
You know, they have really like sharp
Yes,
claws.
they do. Yeah.
And me being from Florida, I've actually gotten to taste alligator and iguana. And you know that whole saying, they taste like chicken? Mm-hmm. And I hate saying this, but they do.
Gator does.
They do.
Yeah.
And iguana, the only good parts to eat, they say, is in the tail and the arms of four legs. Oh, sorry. And the four limbs that they cook up taste just like chicken wings.
Isn't that weird?
And it's like, they tell me it's iguana, but I'm like, oh, could have been chicken for all I know.
Never tried an iguana. I mean, I've had, in the Philippines, I had a chicken leg that was like that long one time. And, well, I don't think it was any chicken that I ever heard of. But we had a saying down there, it might be dog, but it's damn good dog. You know? Just keep your mouth shut and eat.
Oh, gosh. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I was traveling through, I won't say which part of China it was, but there's a saying in China, the only thing on legs they don't eat are tables. So
I believe that.
So I know it sounds terrible, but we went to this one place where they were selling geese. Mm-hmm. And they said they were going to, it's supposed to be a special treat, they were going to get geese legs, freshly sauteed.
Ooh.
So I thought, I ate chicken feet, duck feet. They're delicious. Koreans love chicken feet. It's like, that's what you eat at a movie theater, not popcorn.
Seriously?
Yes, chicken feet. And then they haven't figured out a way to
like
remove all the bones.
Fried or something? Or?
No, it's they usually boil it and mix it with some buffalo sauce, like this hot, spicy sauce.
Ew.
But they said they were cooking geese, so we went to this one restaurant, and the chef, it's kind of like those restaurants where you see the guy cooking in front of you in a big, huge wok. Mm-hmm. He's got the oil thing going, he's got the spices going, and I'm like, okay, I guess they're going to bring out the geese feet, so goose feet or geese feet, goose feet.
I don't know, one of them things.
Goose feet. I think that's the proper term. And next thing I know, this guy comes out holding a live goose, and I'm thinking,
It fried the feet while it was still in the goose.
I don't know what they were. I'm just like, I have no idea what's going to happen, and this threw me for a loop, and I'm still traumatized by it. Guy walks around the wok, throws a live goose on the wok. While the fire and the stuff was going,
Feathers and all?
well, he's trying to get out with his feet. And then one of the people that were there translated for me. It's sauteing its own feet on the wok and the fat. And I looked at him, I said,
Oh, damn.
I'm not eating this. I'm sorry, but I don't. And they tried to explain the adrenaline that the goose gets right before it dies, tenderizes the meat and all that.
That's
How
horrible.
barbaric are you?
Pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I left. I didn't get to taste that. So I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, really. I was just thinking maybe they had a whole bunch of little amputee geese running around with no feet on crutches or wheelchairs, like little geese wheelchairs.
You know, I believe that I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan. I believe in eating animals. As some people, I met a vegan here in Ukraine, thought that I was barbaric, but you know, it's either me or the cow. I'm sorry, cow is bred to be eaten, so I
Well,
think
yeah,
they're
and
delicious.
you're saving the environment because cows fart, and that's methane, and methane is a greenhouse
Yes.
gas. So if you eat the cow, you
Yes.
reduce greenhouse gases. I
Yes.
think it's a great thing.
We were doing.
It's the Lord's work.
That's it. We're getting rid of global warming by
That's right.
eat more cow.
One cow at a time.
No, but I think there should be a humane way of killing these animals. And I was very young. I grew up in the farm in Korea, and I was very, very young when I got to watch the circle of life, so to speak. When I've watched them butcher a pig, cow, dogs, which was just incredibly traumatizing. Again, I'm not going to talk about that because that will make me cry. But some of these animals are very intelligent animals. Some of them are not. But watching something very sentient, knowing, and some of these cows on their way over there, I know it took a really dark turn. They know they're on their way to die, and it's sad to see that. And as a child, they made an imprint on me. But the pork belly we got the next day was just,
yeah.
it kind of made me feel better. It's like, oh, okay, we're okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we got off the topic of Ukraine. We don't eat geese feet while they're still alive in Ukraine.
Not attached to the goose while it's cooking itself.
No.
Although I love Ukrainian food, by the way. I've become a huge fan of borscht. I had my first taste of borscht in Ukraine. I'm sorry, Uzbekistan of all places, and they love that dill, herb dill. So they put dill on everything over there, and I am not a fan of dill. So I remember the first borscht I had, all I could taste was dill.
Really?
And beets.
Uh-huh.
So I was not a fan of it until I came here, and I got to have it at one of the bar / restaurants here, and it was delicious. So whenever I go there, the first thing I ask for, borscht, пожалуйста.
I made borscht one time in the U.S. My ex-wife is from Hodakov. Okay, so I made it for a New Year's Eve party for the guys I work with, and they're like 10 or 12 people, and she told her mom what I was doing. And her mom went ballistic. Oh my God, you can't do that for party food. That's not party food. That is a working man's lunch. You're crazy. And I'm like, my friends have never had this before.
Yeah.
They loved it.
So it's exotic.
They both had 2 bowls full, the whole crowd there was nothing left.
Yeah.
So it's just, for everybody, their delicacy might be trash, or maybe their trash is a delicacy somewhere else,
Yeah.
You just never know. I did see something weird on TV. Some guy is doing a show where they're running all over the world eating different things, and they had scorpions on sticks, live scorpions, still waving their little tails. And I'm like, how do you eat this? And why? And then he ate a big spider, about yay big around spider, that was deep fried. And the little crunchy legs were sticking out of, and I about puked.
Yeah, I do have a response for that.
Yeah.
I was
tasty?
in Cambodia in a few years back, and during the time, I won't name the guy, but when he was ruling, he killed off all the smart people in Cambodia. Like if you're a doctor,
Pol Pot.
I didn't want to say it. You did. It's okay.
Pol Pot.
Pol Pot.
He was a
during
killer.
those days, he's a maniac. So he killed all the smart people. He killed, if you were bilingual, they killed you. Mm-hmm. And during that time, they made a deal with the Chinese where all the rice being produced out of Cambodia got sent to China for whatever reason. So the people that were living there had to find a source of protein and some source of food to eat. So instead of just, having to rely on chicken, beef, pork, they ate whatever they could find. So it was the grasshoppers, the scorpions, the big water bugs that look like cockroaches.
Yeah.
And I've eaten tarantulas and cockroaches when I was there.
Ew.
Amazingly, so you should try it before you say,
No, I'm not going to try it. Nope.
Spiders fried taste exactly like soft shell crabs.
Not chicken?
No, one thing that
Okay.
the one bug I just couldn't do, where they were eating these giant water bugs that are, if you live in Florida, they are cockroaches. They just
Yeah.
they sautéed it in just some oil,
Uh-huh.
and the color didn't change. It looked exactly like them, and they were just picking them up with chopsticks and eating them. I
Well, at
ate.
least they fried them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was stir fried. I put one in my mouth and something squishy came out.
Oh no.
They say it tastes like almond paste is how it was described to me. I don't know. It smelled bad, tasted bad. I couldn't do that. It was one thing I couldn't
It
do.
was probably the cockroach milk. I understand you can milk cockroaches.
Okay.
I could just see somebody with a cockroach and them little tiny, maybe like tweezers or something. I don't know.
So I'm one of those guys. If someone in front of me is eating something and they consider it food, not like something that they have to endure, I'll join along and eat it with them. But that water bug scorpion was interesting.
I'm not one of those guys.
And scorpions literally just taste like corn chips. They don't taste like anything. You just kind of chew. They have a consistency and.
We had a party one time. I want to say it was in Camp Lejeune, and we had some guys from Samoa. We're in the Marines, and they were with us. And we were over cooking hamburgers and stuff. They were rolling over logs and finding the big water bugs.
Oh gosh.
And I mean, they were snatching them off the ground and popping them in like popcorn or something. I'm like, oh boy, these guys are different. But on the other hand, more hamburgers for us.
There's that saying, that that squishy bug that everyone eats on TV. The survivalist shows. I forget what they're called, but again, I was in Southeast Asia. I've seen that on TV. It's like this white squirrely thing with like a black hook at the end. I forget what they're called. Some kind of larva. Mm. And you watch like Bear Grylls on TV eating it. So I remember I was at a restaurant. They had brought a dish of it. They had set it on side on the dish. And, I thought it'd be really cool. It'd be like the survivalist grabbed one, and they said that it's got beaks. It could potentially bite your tongue. So they said you have to grab it by the beak and pull it off and eat the rest. So I did that. I put it in my mouth, and I chewed it, and I tried not to taste as much as I could and just basically swallowed it. And I opened my eyes, and I saw the abject horror of everyone around me just looking at me. And what is wrong with you? I look back at him and I said, what did I do wrong? And they're like, idiot, you're supposed to cook them first. I jumped the gun, and it was horrible. It was horrendous. It tasted like, I don't know, if you could chew like tree logs that were wet and rotted. You could somehow put that in your mouth and chew it, and it smelled like it too. But then when you cooked it, it was, it tastes exactly the same except
They don't
cooked.
eat crap like that over here either, okay?
Although that chicken fat thing.
The chicken fat thing.
Yeah, it's like this Jello-looking thing with pieces of chicken meat floating around. They serve it to you in a jar. I don't know what that's called.
I think I've missed that one.
You haven't had it?
No.
So I'm out on a date with this girl, and I said, I want to eat everything traditionally Ukrainian. So she orders it, and it comes in a jar. Uh-huh. And it is like Jello, except chicken fat.
Huh.
Congealed chicken fat, except it's clear. I think it's chicken fat. Now I'm going to get yelled at when I get home. And I took a cracker, and I thought I would just scoop up a little bit of it. I thought it was like maybe dressing or something, a dip. So I put it in my mouth. I'm like, it tastes like chicken fat. Mm-hmm. She's like, no, that's not how you do it. She takes a spoon, puts it in there, swirls it around, and takes like a giant scoopful and says, open your mouth. And it was cold. It was congealed. Had that fatty thing after you put it in your mouth. It coats the entire inside of your mouth. And no matter how many times you drink water, it's
still there.
So I did the That's wonderful.
Yummy.
Yeah. I couldn't spit it out. You had to be nice. So I endured through it. So Yeah, I'm surprised you never had that.
No, I haven't run into that. I did run into cow tongue under clear jello one time. Yeah, at a party, and it kind of looked like it was at the bottom of the trash can to me, so I pretty much left that alone.
You didn't try it?
No, no, I've had cow
Okay.
tongue before.
About cow brains? They eat
Nope,
brains here.
nope. I don't have enough brain to
Oh.
eat the brain.
You're supposed to eat brains with scrambled eggs. That should be like your first foray into like eating brains.
No, thank you.
Because you can't really tell them apart with the consistency.
Uh-oh, I see our time limit here.
Okay. We had
So,
fun.
Well, this was interesting. It was a little bit off the topic of Ukraine there for a while, but hey, it was fun. It was good to meet you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
And goodbye, folks.